UMass Lowell honoring athletes and coaches past and present. Part of the ceremonies on Tuesday, May 12th, 4 people inducted into the university's Athletic Hall of Fame. Among the group, former UMass Lowell hockey star Shane Henry. He was part of the class of 1994. He was introduced by athletic director Dana Skinner.
Shane Henry was known as a complete hockey player. He did everything well. He is one of 16 players and only one of 6 from the university's Division I era to earn All-America status, which he did as a senior. Shane is currently 3rd on the university's all-time scoring list. He was a 2-time Hockey East All-Star, and in his senior year, he led the team to a 25-10-1 finish, then its best season ever in Division I, and that season included a trip to the NCAA quarterfinal. A 1994 graduate from Langley, British Columbia, please welcome into the Athletic Hall of Fame, Shane Henry.
I'd like to thank UMass Lowell for giving me the opportunity to play hockey here. Blaze McDonald, who recruited me, believed in the little guys. And then I'd also like to thank my wife, who I met here at UMass Lowell. We've been married for 12 years now. And it's just, another wonderful gift that I got from a great university. So thank you.
We had the opportunity to sit down and talk with Shane Henry. So now, that conversation with former UMass Lowell hockey player, Hall of Famer Shane Henry. Congratulations. Did the call that told you about this, or email or whatever it was, did it surprise you?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of, I got an email from Dana Skinner saying that I'd been nominated to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So just seeing the email, it was definitely a surprise, and I was really appreciative of seeing that email. So they asked if I was going to come up, and I said, yeah, for sure. I'll be there. So
the nomination, the induction, reflects how people feel about you and your career here. How did you feel about your career? What kind of memories do you have?
I have great memories of the 4 years here, even memories of the first couple of years when we struggled a little bit as a team, but we grew as a team and got better and better as the 4 years went on. And I think that reflected with me as well, as I got to be a better player as we went on. So once I heard about the nomination, you just start thinking about all the memories, and it's definitely great to think about it again. You get so busy in regular life that you don't often think back to it unless you run into an old friend or something. So it was really neat.
Is there one memory that jumps out, one moment that jumps out most in your mind?
There actually is, and because I grew up in Vancouver, Canada, we always watched Hockey Night in Canada and the great rivalries of Boston, Montreal Canadiens. And one of the reasons I went to school is because I actually loved the Boston Bruins and always cheered for them during those games. 1, because they were an underdog, and 2, because the Montreal Canadiens used to beat up on my Vancouver Canucks all the time, so I would cheer against them. So our junior year, when we made it to the Boston Garden for the playoffs, and the first game, and I was standing on the ice for the national anthem and looking up at all those banners. You see Bobby Orr's number and the championship banners and Phil Esposito, and I can actually still remember just standing there and looking up in the rafters through the whole national anthem and looking at all the great names that had played there. So I can always say that I played in the old Boston Garden. There's not a lot of people that can say that.
As you mentioned, the first 2 years, the program was, I guess, still finding its legs. The last 2 years, I guess, senior year culminates with a trip to the NCAA tournament, a win out at Michigan State. Did you, at the time, realize that you were part of something special that was happening with this program?
I think we did realize that. It just seemed like we were building and building and building, and it seemed like we were going to get to the point where we were beating a lot of very good teams and beating them pretty handily. And I just think with the senior class that was in our class, we just kept building on it, and there were a lot of good leaders there, and I think we ended up surprising a lot of teams. And I mean, when you come within one goal of going to the Final Four, it's pretty impressive for a group of guys that were getting beat pretty bad for their first 2 years of college. So
Is there a recipe for success that one looks at for those years with the hockey program? And is that a recipe that also translates, do you think, to real life?
I don't know if there's a particular recipe, but I think it's when everyone gets on the same page and is working together and you get along well off the ice as opposed to, and I think that reflects in life too. If you go to work and you're working with people and everyone's striving for the same goal, it actually relates. If people don't get along and aren't doing well, it's tough to do things on your own. So I think with our team, everyone just got along really well, and we're all still in touch and talk to each other, and obviously not every day, but just, every once in a while we'll get together and it's just like old times. So
I'm curious, you won a number of awards while you were here. You were a Hockey East All-Star and All-American. Do you look back and remember those individual awards, or is it more about team accomplishments that stays with you the longest?
I mean, to be honest, I don't remember. I obviously remember getting the awards, but I don't remember the situation or where it was. So you don't really focus on those. And when you're playing, you get an award, you're still just always looking for the next thing. You want to just keep going. So maybe you don't appreciate it as much. So, with being nominated with this award, at this point in time in my life, you can appreciate it more because you realize that you had worked so hard for so long, and that people are recognizing that at such a late stage.
What are you doing now?
I'm the event manager for Orlando Venues, which is a large arena, kind of like TD Bank North, be Amway Arena in Orlando. And we have an arts theater and a football stadium. So I actually do some booking for those venues, and I also manage all the events like the Magic and Celtics that will be playing tonight at TD Bank North. I'm going to get home on Thursday, and I'll be working the game for Game 6 of that series. So.
How's a kid from Western Canada survive in Florida sunshine?
It's great. I love it. I don't think I could live in the cold anymore. I'm definitely, even this week in Boston, I've been up here for a few days now, and we've been walking around Boston. It's actually been a mild time of the year here, but I've been cold.
When was the last time you were in Lowell prior to this event?
We were just driving in, and I actually can't remember. It's been a long time since I've been on campus, and it was kind of neat driving in, and I was like, oh, I recognize that. It truly has been. I probably came back, I think, maybe one or two times early on, right when we had finished graduation. Other than that, I haven't been back. I did see one game at Christmas in the new arena, which was kind of neat, but that probably had to be about 4 or 5 years ago.
Shane Henry, thank you very much, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.